I'll be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life. I'll be loving you. Now everybody that's up in here, just throw your bless up so it's clear. Yeah, I'ma be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life now. All of my life, for the rest of my life. I'ma be loving you. Neither the hurt, neither the hate, neither the time I gotta wait, neither the death will separate. Never change my mind, never from the love of God. They wanna ask how long I'll be here. Forever, yeah. I say forever, let's just be clear. I'ma be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life. I'ma be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life. Everybody that's up in here, yeah. Throw your bless up so it's clear. I'ma be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life. I'ma be loving you all of my life, for the rest of my life. I'ma be loving you all of my life, rest of my life. I'ma be loving you all of my life, the rest of my life. Said I'll always be here all of my life, for the rest of my life. I ain't going nowhere all of my life, for the rest of my life. Ain't going nowhere all of my life, for the rest of my life. Forever all of my life, for the rest of my life. Give you forever all of my life, rest of my life. Forever all of my life, for the rest of my life. You forever.
Connecting the community through gospel.
The new 107.9 FM, W300EB.
Macon and WDDO 980 AM.
Perry.
Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
It is now time for the live broadcast of the NAACP with Gwinnett, Westbrook, and Mr. Dumas.
I'm Willie Dumas, your host, and certainly happy you could join us today. I have a slight echo. We can get that rectified a little bit. Okay, sounds great. Hope you're doing fine this evening. Hope you had a great weekend. We've celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday in a big way through the organization of the NAACP. We had a breakfast that I understand was a wonderful breakfast. We also took the time to go out in the community and to feed the homeless in various sites. And so we're always very proud to do some community service and some very humanitarian things during the celebration of MLK Day. And I hope you took the opportunity to do something big, that it was a day on and not just a day off for you, that you participated in some of the activities in the community. There was a march where everybody gathered down at City Hall and had different presenters, such as the mayor. He also spoke about Dr. Martin Luther King's contribution, not only to the Bibb County community, but to the country. And so it was a great time of celebration. It was cold initially, but it did warm up that day. And I hope you took the opportunity to act on some of those festivities. We know that the upcoming month of February, is Black History Month, and there'll be a number of things taking place to celebrate Black History Month, as well as Founders Day for the NAACP. We look forward to that. That will be celebrated during February the 12th all the way through that weekend. And so we look forward to all of those celebrations. But today I have a very special guest, a guest that I'm always happy to have on the show because they give so much to the community. Matter of fact, we honored them in our past banquet that the NAACP holds every year. Our excuse me, I'm sorry, I got a little choked up there. Our banquet we have every year, the Earl T. Shinholster Award Banquet. And so that person is Sister Teresa Sullivan. Are you on the line, Sister Teresa? Or can you hear me? We may have some connection issues. But while she's waiting to come on the line, I do want to talk a little bit about some of the things that Sister Teresa stands for. Of course, she works with Daybreak, which many of you may be um, knowledgeable of, and some others may not. But Daybreak is a very integral part of the community. They do a lot in the community as far as serving the homeless and those that are underserved in the community. And so we always applaud them. Uh, a lot of their work is done through what they call DePaul Daybreak. Um, they have a lot of supporters in the community, which enables them to be able to do a lot of the things that they're able to do in the community. Um, we need those funds. Sister Sullivan, like I heard a little something. Can you hear me? Okay, I thought she was checking in there. Maybe still having some difficulty there. Some of the committee people that work with Daybreak, in particular, which you may have seen and heard this person, one of the honorary chairpersons, Chuck Lavelle. Matter of fact, they've started their campaign of commercials already, where they're actually letting people know about the events that they have coming up next month. That particular event is called the Daybreak um, Greater Macon Sleep Out. That's their big fundraiser for the year, and it gives people like myself and others like you an opportunity to see what it's like to be on the streets when cold weather comes in, when the rain falls, and you're out in the elements. Um, Through the Great American Sleep Out, we are able to feel what the homeless feel, and so that gives us a sense of compassion, a sense of commitment to know that we are our brothers and sisters keepers, that we can do the things that can help our community grow. Um, I'm going to check once again with our technician. Do we have Sister Sullivan on the line? Still don't have her on the line? Okay. So since we don't have her on the line, maybe something came up because they always have a lot going on there at Daybreak. Want to talk about some of those services that they provide. One of them in particular is, just feeding people. In order to get your day going, most of us don't know what it's like not to either have a breakfast or a lunch or dinner at some point in time. And many of the people that are on the streets, if they don't have those types of things, it's kind of hard for them to even get their day going. And so Daybreak's there to provide those hot meals, particularly during the day hours, that can help sustain a homeless person to number one, have the energy to go to work, because they also help them to find jobs. Um, just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're not a viable citizen. That doesn't mean you don't contribute to the economy and those kinds of things. And so they have the opportunity through Daybreak to be part of the workforce, to get the necessary items that are needed, like clothing and shelter that can to and the ability to wash their clothing and to iron them and to look presentable. All of those things are provided to the person who comes off the street and comes into Daybreak to get those services met. And so they provide quite a few services for the people there. I still have a the echo kind of went away. We got a lot of things going on today, but Sister Teresa said she was disconnected, and so she's trying to call in again. Um, if the technician can hear me, we probably want to untie that line. I don't know if the line's tied up, and so we're going to try to get her back on the line. They're working on that. But meanwhile, they do provide clothing, they provide shelter, food, those kinds of things for the homeless so that they can be viable citizens in the workplace and in the community. And many of us don't know that a lot of the homeless people that, okay, she's on the line.
Yep.
All right. Sister Teresa, I thought you went ghost on.
There you go. You always got to have a little technical. But the people who are homeless, they teach me to persevere, right?
There you go.
Oh,
Well,
very good.
I've been giving them a little information about daybreak, but it's best to hear it from the horse's mouth. So,
Well, first of all, I always like to start by thanking the making community because Daybreak wouldn't be Daybreak without all the amazing support, volunteers, donors, um, businesses, congregations, personal people, um, other agencies. Daybreak would not be what it is without networking with the entire community. So my first thing is thank you because you are a big part about how we can do what we can do.
well, we always thank you for the work and all the support you guys give to the community and what you contribute.
Yeah, I was actually just putting in our statistics for the end of the year. Today we were finalizing, so you guys will be the first to know we served 1,869 people.
Wow.
And of those, that's a lot of people. I think they were all in our day room today, but that's like 25,000 visits with people, whether it be for medical or case management or for meals. Um, and then we're continually moving people on. 95 people we moved into shelter or to treatment or to housing. So hopefully some of them, get on their feet and come back. And some of those people don't realize that some of the people that come to Daybrook are not homeless, but they're people we have housed in the past, and
Wow.
they still need to get their mail here because there's not a safe place to get their mail, or their income is all spent on rent, and so they'll come to take a shower or to get laundry done or medical care. So we have people coming in to one because they're homeless, or two to keep them housed, keep them employed, and support them.
Right. So it's a lot of prevention that's worked into your program as far as keeping a person from becoming homeless.
Exactly. I can't tell you. We'll get calls that says, "Oh my gosh, this is happening," and trying to connect them to, those numbers don't even count the people that call in, and we're like, "Okay, go to this resource or go to this resource." So many times people don't know the resources that are out there,
Right.
and Daybreak plays a huge role in networking and linking people to resources.
One of those resources is Mulberry Methodist Church they do a feeding.
Right. So actually, the whole day of Daybreak is our whole schedules around other organizations. So like when Salvation Army Night Shelter closes at 7 in the morning, we open at 7:30, and then our people are here from 7:30 to 11, and then they go a couple blocks down the street to Mulberry Methodist make an outreach where they can receive lunch, and then at 12 when they close, we reopen. Um, and bring people back here. And then we'll close at 3. But now we're partnering. Salvation Army, is redoing their men's dorm after the pipes busted in
Right.
cold weather at Christmas time. Santa brought us a little extra gift that I didn't like the cold weather. But and so we've had Holy Spirit Church comes and picks up the people here and transports them where they've been staying because they couldn't stay at the men's dorm anymore at Salvation Army as they're repairing it. So it's always working with other people, and whether it be Mulberry or Christ Church, weekend lunch program, Loaves and Fishes, Brookdale, Salvation Army, we're always kind of working together.
Well, teamwork makes the dream work.
Pardon me?
I said teamwork makes the dream work.
You know, it really does. It really does. Actually, the temperatures are going to drop again Thursday and Friday, and we're going to have a call with all the people involved to say how can we respond to that? How can we make sure, people are safe? We even are connected now. Warner Robins opened up a warming center, and we've been working with them and helping them in between all of us to keep people safe in this cold weather.
Now you made mention of the warming center, so you guys also very closely with the warming center here in Bibb County.
Actually, are you are you talking about the Warner Robins Warming Center or the
No, they have
Brookdale?
the one here local.
Okay, so you have the places to go at night are either the Salvation Army or the Brookdale Resource Center, and both of them kind of cater to different people. And actually, right before I got on this call, I was working with one of our gentlemen to get him into Brookdale Resource Center because he was like, I can't be out on the street. It is supposed to. I'm a person that watches the thermometer all the time because it's going to get down to 31 tonight. Right now it's not that bad outside, but you don't realize in the middle of the night when those temperatures drop. So I always look at those levels to see. And so he is a person that just got his papers saying that he would get Social Security, but it's still going to be a couple weeks before it comes in. He's got diabetes, congestive heart failure. He's like, I cannot be outside another night. And so we got him into Brookdale. And now that with that check coming in, they can work with him on trying to get him a place so that he's ready when that kicks in. So it takes a long time till someone gets a source of income one way or another.
And that's a big part of what you guys do as well, being resourceful and having the tools to get people connected with Social Security, the VA, and those type of agencies.
Right. A lot of times people focus on the core things we do, like showers and laundries and breakfast and snacks, but really that gets people stabilized. And our case managers work with each person individually to say, what is the issue? Is the issue that they really should be someone on disability? Is it an issue that they need to be connected for a job? What is going on that's keeping them on the street? Is it that they need to get into a treatment program because until you're sober, you're not going to be able to keep a job or keep a house? So it's really carefully, and the case managers are a critical part of it. And actually, some of our case managers work. People don't really know, but we have 4 different houses that have 8 people in it, and our case managers work very closely with those people not only to be housed but to stay housed. So many times you can be floating and right now everybody's heat bills are high. How do you manage? How do you prepare for that? What are the issues that come up, and anticipating those issues and helping people to learn how to plan ahead or to respond in a way that you don't end up back on the street. And so ongoing case management is a critical part of that.
Wow. And it's all of those things that go into a person being able to feel stable and uh, that they're making a in their in their environment.
Right, and that's we have to, even the medical care that we give. It's like, how can you keep someone stable? So doctors will come and see people here, but then we have to get the medication, and then the medication, most of them will get the medication for them, but some of them they can't hang on to it on the streets, or they can't physically manage it. We had a guy the other day who had insulin. Well, insulin has to be cold, so I'm like, keep the insulin in our refrigerator, and then you can come get it, draw it up, so you do it. We have some people we fill, many of us deal with elderly parents or people where you have to fill up the med planner so that the medication is taken. So we have many people who we will give a weekly med planner to, or a daily in some situations, in order to manage their medicines, or if their medicines get stolen on the street.
And that's amazing that you could, things intact and in a certain order that people. It's hard enough when you have things organized at your home to keep things in order. Then when you're in a temporary place or temporary setting, that can be
You're absolutely right. I cannot keep my paper straight or and my things. I can't imagine. Sometimes I look at them. If I had everything in one bag, the
right.
other night when it was cold over Christmas, we opened up at night, and one of the gentlemen came in. They were freezing at night, and he got in his bag, and he was on like 4 different types of medicines. And it was interesting to watch him how he took things out of his bag and he knew where they were. And
Wow.
another help is not only the medicines, but like if I asked you right now for your birth certificate and social security card, you probably don't carry that on you. I don't carry that
No,
on me.
no.
And the reason you don't carry on you because if you lose it, it's a huge issue. Well,
Right.
many of our people, if their wallets have been stolen or things have been stolen for them, then they no longer have an ID. And if you don't have an ID, you can't get into housing. You can't get a job. You can't collect. You can't cash a check that you get from the
Right.
government on, and so a lot of it is trying to keep people's identification that they have it if they don't have it, and then once we get it, trying to have a safe place for it to be. So until they're in a stable place where they can keep it and not lose it,
And
it's a
then
challenge.
you're right. The other part of that is getting to those facilities to get those items, such as the Social Security's office or the DMV. You know,
You sit there and you say, well, why don't they just get that? And it's like you wouldn't be surprised how walking. We actually have the community health clinic here today. The podiatrist looking at people's feet because they walk so much,
so
and
much. Yeah.
with all this rainy, cold weather, they just get all mottled up, and they can have problems, which is a big deal. But you're right. Is how to connect people, and that's why at Daybreak many times we try to provide many of the resources here. I always call it like a shopping mall. So like today, we had a group coming in giving COVID vaccinations. We had a
Wow.
group coming, a podiatry group coming in. We will have the food stamp people come here. We have Piedmont Mental Health. Twice a week, they will come here and see our people.
Great.
First Choice Primary Care, twice a week, they will provide a clinic out of Daybreak, which helps to minimize the walking here and walking there and missing this and missing that, and it helps us to case management to make sure people follow through on what's going on.
Yeah, all those things are necessary to keep the ball rolling.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's the beauty of what you guys do. Um, having dry clothing or being able um, to actually come out of the rain and get into something dry, and all of that would you know really bother a person. I mean, if I had to sit in wet clothing, for a few hours, or would be unbearable.
Yeah, we have our Make and Sleep Out coming up, and one of the years I remember was we had a great night, and then around 5 o'clock, right when I was trying to come out of my tent, the skies just opened up and they were pouring. I'm like, and I
Oh my
got soaked
goodness.
just walking from the tent into my office. But I'm like, I had a stash of clothes in my office waiting for me to change in, and it really made me think of the rainy days that we have where everybody comes with everything wet and then they have to wait to get in and then
Right.
they all hope that they're on the list to get their laundry done, but sometimes they're not on the list, so they've brought all that wet heavy stuff with them and then they have to bring that wet heavy stuff back. But yeah, things aren't as easy as they are in our life.
Right. And that, those are a lot of the challenges, and people actually persevere, through those challenges. It takes a lot of willpower. It takes a lot of stamina to be able to go up against the elements of what we face every day. And
Yeah, and
it's
that's
just
why part of what Daybreak is not just what we do, but that we are here for people. And they'll say, "Oh my gosh, you guys really care." That and We had last year we had 155 people volunteer for us throughout the year, 8,000 hours of volunteer hours, and the presence tells people, hey, there is someone that cares for you. There is someone that really has your back. And just the way our volunteers help people, that's why we can always use, this week we're short on volunteers. We can always use more volunteers if anybody's out there. Every Monday at 9 a.m. we have volunteer orientation, and our volunteers run the laundry, they run the shower table, they run the computer lab, they run the cafe, they sign people in. And they do those tasks, but most importantly, they greet people and they talk about how they let them know that they are important members of our community. And Curry Gotzi wrote an essay in our Daybreak book that says our community is not what it could be as long as any members are not living up to their fuller potential. So our work here not only helps them, but it helps our community be the best we can be.
Absolutely. So tell them about your big event and tell the people how they can help participate.
The big event. So I love this day. It's our Make and Sleep Out. It's February 23rd. And it is a day where it's our major fundraiser. It supports a third of my budget, but it's also a day that we stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters who are homeless. And people, you can sign up right now, create a page, makeandsleepout.com, for yourself to sleep out, and then you share that with people, and they get $5 and $10. Most of our sleepers, their goal is to raise at least $1,000. And last year we made $265,000, and we're not quite on track to beat that, but I definitely need to beat that in order to provide everything I got planned for next year. And so, actually, it's this year now. And so people will come at 5:30, and we used to do it next to Daybreak, but we have a construction project going. But we put our tents down at Central City Park. The Boy Scouts will watch over them while we come back to Daybreak, and at 6:30 we will have a dinner, a soup and bread. So it's like our homeless. They don't always get as much as they want, but they find a way. Macon is pretty good about making sure people have something in their stomachs. And then after that, we'll have a program. And from there, they'll go to Central City Park and sleep out that night. In the morning, get up and join our people for breakfast. The breakfast will be a little fancier because Famous Mike is providing the breakfast again this year.
Wow.
And it's a time just to walk with them. It's a time to witness that we as a Macon care about our brothers and sisters who are homeless.
Absolutely.
And it's a time to decrease Sister Teresa's anxiety by making her budget come true.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
right now you can go to makeandsleepout.com and sign up to sleep out, or you can go to makeandsleepout.com and, contribute to the sleep out.
Well, we do hope that people will take advantage and do just that. And we certainly applaud you for all your efforts and everything that Daybreak does and everything that Daybreak stands for. We applaud you guys. And I made mention, you received the Community Award this past celebration for the NAACP. And so we definitely appreciate the work.
And that was so touching. The work of the NAACP is such great work, and it's so important to me because 80% of our population is black, and that's a lot due to the structural racism that keeps people in poverty. And to be recognized for that, and to think that we at Daybreak here are walking step in step with the NAACP to try to change some of those things.
Absolutely. And it's always wonderful to have you on the show, and always good to see you when I'm able to see you out in the community. And we wish you the best and most success with your great sleep out. And of course, we will try to do what we can do to assist in that effort as well.
Well, thank you. Everybody can give something, either whether it's come volunteer or make a financial donation or pray or
Absolutely.
however you want to be a part of the Daybreak community, we are, and you are a blessing, Mr. Dumas, to us, and your support and what you're doing here is great.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's going to do it for us for the day. Um, glad, so happy to have you on the show, and we hope we can get you back maybe when it gets closer to the event and have you
Would
come
love
back
to.
on.
Love to. If
Absolutely.
any of your listeners have any questions or anything, they can, just give us a call at Daybreak at 478-216-9119, 478-216-9119, and we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's our time for
Okay,
today.
thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
God bless. Bye-bye.
And right before we close, I do want to say that we have a lot going on in the upcoming month, and as I mentioned earlier, we have our Founders Day with the NAACP. So we hope to that you will keep abreast of the things that are happening with NAACP and support us. And we're planning an event so that we can have people to come out and to join the organization and help us grow as we continue to help with throughout the community and throughout Central Georgia. So from Willie Dumas, your host, and President Westbrooks in her absence, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on next week.